Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. I am here with Sarah Burkhart with Benchmark Mortgage. They are a mortgage company in town. They've been having a great year. They just passed their 1 year anniversary of opening this up.
Yeah.
So pretty awesome. One of the questions we've ran into in the last couple of weeks is try to explain the appraisal process. We get how they come up with a value for it, but how do you guys pick an appraiser? Kind of how does that work?
Sure. Yeah. So lenders are regulated to do a rotation basis so that it's fair. We're not using the same appraiser over and over. We're not price fishing, if you will, or choosing the appraiser we want to work with every single time. So lenders can basically choose the appraisers that are in their panel, but you have to have enough to make a rotation. And they're basically sent to a desk either internally or through an AMC that selects it on a rotation basis so that it is maintaining that fair lending practice.
So very random, kind of.
Very random.
You can't just pick, 'cause that's why, can you pick the appraiser? No.
No, I wish we could, but no.
So these appraisers that are on your panel, are they all
Yes.
local to Minot? Do they come from out of town? How does that kind of work? Or
They come from a little bit of everywhere. There are local people here that service our market, but there's actually people that come from out of town that service our market on a regular basis. You wouldn't even know it because they've been doing our Minot market for so long. So it's kind of a combination of both. There's also off panel, which means we can't find anyone to take a specific home appraisal in our area, or maybe it's a rural property or a property that's very unique. Sometimes we have to go off our panel and go to another market that maybe has someone that can bring a different perspective in as well.
okay, so if you can't find someone to pick up that appraisal, you go off panel. That'd be different ones. Does the price change? I mean, is there?
It can. It depends on travel a lot, how far they're coming from, and maybe how complicated the appraisal may be.
Once you have an appraiser picked, I know a lot of times where you guys are doing all your stuff, your underwriting, all the back end stuff with the borrower.
Yeah.
There's always sometimes a due date that's set, or we hope to have the appraisal back on
Sure.
this day. How does that get picked, or where does that come into play?
Yeah, so as a lender, we try really hard to make sure we have enough time when that appraisal comes in to get to the closing date, which is kind of what is on everybody's mind when you're buying a home or selling. And we do the best we can to kind of do follow-up and make sure that the appraiser's on track, but they are third parties. So we give them a date. They do accept the date, depending on if they want to or not. But we can't always make them get them back on that date. So that is a challenge in our market, for sure.
Okay, because I know I have ran into that where it's like, hey, we need to get it done. We all want it done, but sometimes the appraiser doesn't get it done on time, and that's not always the appraiser's fault. I mean, that
True.
could be with COVID. We learned you can't make a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Other stuff comes up, but so the date is more of a moving target, you would say, a lot of times?
I would say it is, yeah. We try hard to make that target, but appraisers do have delays that they can't prevent, like unique properties, out-of-town properties. COVID has been a real, treat in our market for sure.
So when I go set a price for a house, I don't, but I could, right? $215,000, tell a seller, hey, let's list it at that, and call it a CMA or whatever it may be. That's not how an appraiser does it, right?
Correct.
How does that kind of go?
Yes, so the appraiser is going to take into account all the comparables that have sold, listed, and they have to actually detail the report for a lender. So secondary market, 30-year fixed mortgages require certain things to be in that appraisal. So if that's not detailed correctly, then it could prevent financing. So an appraiser's job is very important because they are the eyes of the lender. And so that's an important piece to know, is that you're right. They can't just write a number and go, yeah, I agree, it's worth $250. It's a process to make sure they've followed all the regulations and that the home qualifies for secondary market.
Comes back to regulation again, a lot of regulation, a lot of rules to
Absolutely.
follow. So awesome. Well, last thought, anything else you'd like to add for buyers about the appraisal process? Anything
I
there?
think just have patience. They're out there doing their job for a reason. They're trying to make sure the value is accurate for you and there's no safety deficiencies. So, it can be a frustrating process sometimes, but it's needed.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.